Hi, this is Ben from Turn Sounds. Kangaroos are so good at boxing, that's why they're not allowed to compete against humans. Welcome to Just Keep Walking. This is a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show, and today we're talking about season 11, episode 5, called Out of the Ashes. I'm your host, Ben, joined by
Isaac.
And Liam.
Nice. We just did another recording. And
I'll keep
like
the
to swap it
original
around
one,
each
yeah.
time. Yeah, well, thank you very much for tuning in. Excited to dive into this episode. Isaac, why don't you give us a spoiler alert?
Oh, spoilers ahead!
Thank you.
Watch out.
Important to know. So, yeah, spoiler alert for season 11, episode 5, and anything before that in the show, obviously. Yeah, well, really, we like to dive straight into it. So, just before we get into the actual episode, you were saying something just before we started recording about the little teasers they put at the end of Up Next on
Yes.
Walking
Yeah.
Dead. Yeah, did you want to continue that thread? We do this all the time where we start talking about something after the episode and they say, no, leave it till we start recording, because otherwise we ruin all the content. So.
Well, okay, so we've already had spoilers ahead, and this is a big throw to the very end.
Yeah, so spoilers for the Up Next on season episode 6.
Yes. Yeah. So
which you've probably seen.
they're talking about, Connie might be alive. We saw some person stumbling out, and, we saw previously, so we know that she is out and about. But yeah, it's very much like, Connie's out there and such. Like, that's just the thread, right? And then up comes the Up Next in next week, and we clearly see that, without a doubt, it's her, and she's with Virgil. We gave him a name. I forget what it was. Annoying Virgil, the jerk or something.
Neither of those are super creative.
No, it rhymed. There was something.
Yeah, okay. No, I'd believe it. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
I really want anyway. Yeah, but I'm not such a fan. It feels like spoilers to me. It doesn't.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, because with the previous one before that, with Negan when he left Maggie on the edge of the train. Previous, and then we saw into the next one. We know exactly how it's going down, and
yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right. Well, Liam, what are your thoughts? Do you like it, or would you rather not see it at all?
Well, I mean, we already knew that she was alive because we saw her in the finale. Actually, I don't even know if it was the finale now, but at the end of last season where she meets up with Virgil. She passes out on the road and sort of, you see, if I remember correctly, you see the blurry figure and then comes into focus and it's Virgil. So,
And
we
she's
do
in
know
a
that
few
they're
shots
there.
in the trailer as well.
Is there a character named Dirk or someone that we call Dirk the Jerk?
that
I
sounds
don't
fitting.
remember that.
Can we make one?
We'll keep this thread going. Let us know when you think of it. Yeah.
I think I may have. I think I'm crossing my wires. I apologize for
That's
the
all
editing.
right.
I think it was for our other podcast, the Mid-Shot one.
Maybe. What, from like Jingle All the Way or something? Oh, there you go. Shout out to Mid-Shot Podcast. Head over there if you want to see us watch and review Jingle All the Way and Jingle All the Way 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting because for me, like, it's good. I like having at least a rough expectation of what the next episode's going to be about, at least, because then when you're hit with like a bottle episode or something, it's not quite as annoying. Like, because it can be a real pain if you're looking forward to seeing a certain story continue, and then it's like, oh, okay, we're spending the whole episode with Daryl and the Reapers or something, that sort of thing. So that is probably why I would go for it. But then also they've done some silly things in the past. Even back in season 4, there was one apparently with Glenn when you think that he's dead in like the first half of the episode, and Maggie sort of like is looking for him and finds a walker that looks almost like him for a second, and so there's all these things. But then you saw in the thing for last week Up Next, and it was Glenn alive, which you find out like towards the end. So there's some silly things like that which kind of ruin a bit of the the drama. But yeah, interesting. All right, let's dive into the episode. So we open up and it's nighttime, but it's very strangely lit. There's some weird stuff going on. So either the lighting guys had some weed or there's something else going on. And it's a dream sequence. Ah, mate. That was cool little thing of just like, oh, the wolves. Ah, there's the same.
I saw Liam's eyes light up, from across the room. I was like, wolves.
Yeah. So yeah, always nice, I guess when they have the opportunity just to do little callbacks like that, and it reminds you of other stuff from the series. So that's cool. But just what's the significance of that? I'm thinking about it now because I guess Aaron is a bit of a, he's got a bit of an arc this episode.
It's kind of like he's looking at every enemy that they've ever faced. In a way, there's got the walkers, which are a constant, then the saviors, and also the wolves and the skin freaks, whisperers. So it's like from every angle they're coming at him, and he's trying to protect Gracie, and then all of a sudden Gracie disappears, and he's calling out her name.
Yeah,
that seemed pretty obvious to me that like he's only thinking about Gracie, and there's all of these threats.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't see the governor or anyone there, but
well, he wasn't around for that.
The greatest threat of all.
Hello, Aaron. Yeah. Who are you? I wasn't introduced to you season 5. But yeah, now that we're talking about it, and I'm thinking out loud,
the governor.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lance Hornsby kind of looks like the governor. He gave me governor vibes at the end there. But yeah, towards the end when Aaron's semi-torturing this guy and really having it out, it seemed like we've seen grumpy Aaron, but this seemed like another level of Aaron's really going off the deep end. But I think now that I'm thinking about it, and with this dream sequence at the start, it definitely makes a lot more sense that, especially with protecting Gracie, all these things that have been coming against him and all that the Whisperers have done, he's angry. He's protective. So, yeah, it sort of makes it a little less out of nowhere. But, yeah, we got to see Jerry peeing on the dunny. Got to do what you got to do. And just at the wrong time, a walker breaks in. So, walls are falling down. Really, this is just continuing the thread, I guess, of, Alexandria is really not going to be sustainable for that long, hey?
Yeah. I took a couple of notes of this episode.
Yeah, go for it.
And just some funny things that I found. You got the one wall that they erected before. You saw them all pull it up.
Yeah.
And it's covered in what I've noted down as the wall is janky AF, just because it's got all of these different sheet metal things on it, but you'd never attach them like one diagonal, one straight, one sideways.
Yeah.
Like, how rookie can you be? Like, especially with corrugated iron sheeting that clearly fit together in particular ways. Even if the lengths are odd, you can overlap them in a way to make it work. You never go like diagonal ways.
It's true.
It just seems and it's so obvious looking that, look how weak this structure is. And like, I guess that's the point, but it just seems silly.
Fair.
It just seems silly.
That's fair. I didn't notice it, but yeah, I'm kind of spotting it a bit now.
It's like when you see someone with a patchwork coat and it's just all different like color patchwork things, and it's like, here's a jacket that's clearly falling apart.
Good job, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my note.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so Walker's breaking in, they're holding the walls up. Really, just not having such a good time at Alexandria. But yeah, we come back into this videotape, which we shared our thoughts on a bit when we reviewed the trailer, so we won't go over that again. But yeah, I mean, it was a bit pointless, really.
We've talked about VCR, which our opinions are. I think did Liam? Did you like the VCR? Like as an idea, as old school retro, because they did it in, I think, World Beyond as well at one point.
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, I remember someone liking it.
So you're asking if I like? Yeah, I don't mind it. The way that whole thing went about, I'm like, this is just very cheesy.
Yeah. One detail that I really did like strong. They had the VCR audio stretch in the music. From like worn out tape, which I really like that as an addition.
Almost to like a sort of just like off-putting effect. Yeah. Like, it makes you feel like something's not right about this place. So yeah, no, that's cool. That's fair.
Easy detail to leave out, but yeah, they did well.
No, true. true. Actually, just before we continue, we usually do this at the start. What are your guys' overall feelings on the episode? We're going to dance around a little bit. Isaac, do you want to go?
Don't make me go.
Oh, okay, Liam, go first.
I really like this episode. This is probably, I wouldn't say favorite, but close to being my favorite episode this season.
Yeah, cool, nice.
Cool. Yep, I'm on the same page.
Yeah,
absolutely.
same.
There was one arc or like one story thread in this, which every time they cut back to it, I was like, we're back here again. But yeah, I think it. I remember what it was now, but it was all the kid scenes. Like with
Yeah,
Judith.
I could have guessed that. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll come to that in a minute.
Some gold, but
no, good. We all liked it overall, though. So that's
Yes,
good. Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, Liam, I'd agree. Favorite so far from the season, and the variety definitely helps. Like that makes a big difference. I think a whole Commonwealth episode would have felt really just kind of a bit annoying or jarring and stuff like that. But the fact that you've got it spliced in with all this other stuff, and you can kind of see where it's all falling into the story to an extent of like Alexandria's falling apart. This isn't going to work for much longer, and now Eugene's really trying hard to get help for the Alexandria people from Commonwealth. So it's all sort of starting to come together a little bit. So that's nice. They're into the Commonwealth. We sort of get introduced. There's all these, formal things you got to fill out and all that. And it's, and you see them like Yumiko's talking to this guy about, you've got to talk to your superior and all these finicky little things, and then you just hard cut to Alexandria with the walls falling down and walkers smashing in. So it's bit of a contrast there. Okay, so Negan and Maggie in the woods.
good stuff.
Liam, what do you reckon?
I'm going to point out something that I don't think I've ever pointed out on this show before. A camera shot. The drone shot of both of them in the woods. That was awesome. I really, really liked that.
Yeah, that was something different, eh?
Have they done that before ever?
They have done drone shots before, but not like that specifically.
Not over the top.
directly down, I don't think. No, it's cool. Good
Nice, Liam.
I'm growing.
There's not too much really to say about this scene until we get further into it, but the woods looked really nice to me. It didn't seem like the usual spot, at least. So just very nice and green, and that I can say about this whole episode overall. Everything just looked really cool. Like all the different locations. When Negan and Maggie were walking around, you're seeing old cars overgrown and all these cool things, which you could tell in some of the older seasons they would just use like a normal street and chuck tarps over the fences, and it was a little bit lazy. You weren't seeing this like the full apocalypse, but this really feels like they've gone to a lot of effort and you're really seeing the apocalypse, the world falling apart. So
especially when you get to Hilltop as well, with all the burnt down everything, scorched,
100%.
Which
go on.
I meant to ask you this because I try and get some of the mundane details out the way when we're just sitting watching. But Hilltop building itself, didn't you say that was like a heritage building or something like that at one point?
Yeah, in the universe at least. I've got to look up if it's an actual thing in real life.
Oh, no, I am talking more so in real life about an actual like set piece, like up on the hill somewhere. If it's like a
they have built it as a set for the show. So
okay, all right then. That's it then. Cool. Because I looking at like the burnt out windows and stuff like that, and I'm not sure how much of it was just like a animated overlay over the top of it or not.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, it looks pretty real. Yeah.
Either way, I was going to say if that was like a real building, because I remember, it's the mansion of someone the third or whatever.
I don't think it is in real life from what I can see on Google, but...
No, but no, I was impressed with particularly how that looked while you're talking about.
Yeah.
And before the joke gets lost, I was just going to say, with Liam's cinematography is reaching new heights.
Nice. It's pretty good.
Would have eaten me up inside.
But yeah, absolutely. Like, and just seeing the Hilltop set, you can tell it's a real set and stuff. It looks cool, and I guess just. It reminds you, like, because there was the big battle there in episode 11, I think, of last
You're on
season.
think.
Episode 11, Morningstar. And yeah, we really, aside from the very brief visit when like Maggie sort of looked at it from the outside, we haven't really come back to it. So it's kind of nice because I think there are a lot of those things which we talked about as it was unfolding towards the end of season 10, where it kind of moved quite quickly with the story past a lot of these big events because there was other stuff going on with the Whisperers, and so you didn't really get the time to see the aftermath so much. So it's nice being able to come back to it now and sort of take it in a little bit more. So it's cool.
Poor Roy.
Poor Roy. Was that his name? I forgot already.
Troy.
Troy. Yeah. Okay. Random Troy. If you know who Troy is and if he was in the show before, let us know. I don't know if he was. Speaking of which, though, because we were talking the other week about like side characters who get killed off, and Maggie's crew. There's all these new people coming in and getting killed off. Diane is another one. Who's the archer lady from Kingdom.
Yeah.
Just like one of those faces who you could do one of those throwaway deaths with because she's not like a major character, but at least it'd be someone.
She's had more lines than like other people who've.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, it'll at least be good to see her. You can give us Dan Fogler first, but yeah.
That's the real injustice here.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Can I just say, if there's like a coffee boy on set or something that no one likes as a jerk, or maybe one of the producers who happens to be named Troy, and they just like put that in, oh, look, this dead guy was Troy.
Well, hey.
It'd be funny.
Let us know if that's the case, if anyone from the show's listening. Yeah, no, I can see it.
So-and-so's father-in-law or whatever, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family members appearing in the show, this zombie kid poking his head through the wall is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son, dressed up and stuff. So there you go. But yeah, I can see what you mean. It's a little bit, I don't know, school drama, like bully sort of thing. But yeah, Liam.
I had a thought as to what could sort of eventuate from all that.
Yeah.
I reckon, well, I don't know if it will happen, but I reckon it'd be kind of cool if, they're still mucking around, still putting their hands near the, teeth, chompy chomp. My brain is starting to fade, but that's all right. I would love to see the kid actually get bitten and go, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. Judith then comes along, cuts the hand off and saves him.
Yeah, totally.
You just...
They argue beforehand and she holds her sword up again. Then he gets bitten. Saved you, buddy.
Stupid kid.
Stop being a goose now.
Yeah, the show needs to stop doing the tropes of the stupid brat kid that is clearly all tough and all that until he gets like a sword pointed at him, or and then he's all, oh no, stop it, stop doing it.
Especially when they come out of nowhere. Like, where did this kid come from? I've never seen him before. There's all these kids out of nowhere. So,
I like the opportunity for Judith to shine any time that she does.
Yeah.
I was happy to see her in all of these scenes.
Yeah.
And the poor girl's got such like a squeaky voice, like not very authoritative.
Right, yeah.
Authoritative. And so you can see why people who are just bigger than her might try and push her around, particularly with that comment, your mum abandoned you because you're a freak or something. It's like, ouch.
Her response was great, though. Sword to the throat, like, say that again, I dare you. Like,
imagine that, like, school playground, but you've all got, like, guns and knives and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe it'll play more into Judith's story or something like that. But I can definitely see, like, when you're missing out on Luke and all these other characters who are just waiting to have something in the show, to be spending all this time with kids on sort of a seemingly insignificant thing, and especially kids who have just randomly popped out of nowhere. Yeah.
Is it to do with? Sorry.
No, go on.
Is it like? Do we know if Dan Fogler's got like a scheduling sort of conflict, or?
I definitely wouldn't be surprised. I'd imagine.
You're
so.
looking at me like I know.
You would know if anyone. But yeah, that's more than likely the case for sure.
Look, if he's tucked away somewhere, it means he's not dead. So
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But actually, I do like where it goes later with the whole Carl thing and all that. So we'll come back to that in a minute. There's your drone shot, Liam.
Yeah.
Through the episode here. Yeah, Negan Maggie's safe house. We've said this already, but I like just that they're talking straight to each other. It's
Yes.
cool. Yeah. What?
I'm thinking, was it before this or afterwards where she threw the knife?
Oh yeah, that was before. Yeah, that was pretty
great.
good. That was good.
You see the original Negan coming through and he says, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, 100%. Commonwealth, they got a cake shop because, of course, they do. And we got Yumiko's brother. So yeah, there's only so much you can say about a lot of these scenes, but
There's
good
plenty.
setup. Oh wow! All right.
How
Please.
did you guys feel about the most cliched thing ever?
Oh,
the
yes.
cake drop.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
All right, go on.
Well, I got yeah.
I didn't really mind it. I didn't think much of it. But
I hated it. I'm like, just
Yeah.
put the cake on the counter, buddy.
No one is that shocked ever.
It's been 10 years.
But okay, so
The
you go,
apocalypse.
"Oh my gosh, Yumi, like amazing." Put the cake down,
Yeah.
run over. Like, or you could just be shocked there, like holding the cake. You don't lose function of everything.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I want to one day be that shocked because it's either like a vase, a priceless vase, or a cake, or whatever the thing is you're holding. But you're never that shocked that you drop what you're
I
holding.
would disagree. I think I'm looking forward to the time in your life where it happens.
Or like maybe if it does happen, you acknowledge that it's happened. Like you might, lose your grip and say,
the scene cut away.
not really. He like dropped it and just like eyes forward looking at her. Like
Oh, okay, yeah.
could have dropped it on his shoes for all he knew. Like
Yeah, there's the sort of thing of like nothing in the world is important at this moment except for like what I've just seen.
it's a highly comedic thing though, especially when it's like, "All right, boss, this cake's all good. Where do you want it to?" And then he just splat on the ground, and you actually see it, like
Yeah.
close up of the cake as it hits the ground.
I didn't mind it too much, but yeah, I get where you're coming from.
It might have been more powerful. It might have been a lot more emotional if he'd stood there like just quivering with the cake, like just looking at her, like tears forming.
Plate of jelly is like shaking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess part of it maybe is that balance of like if you have too many scenes that are like crying or trying to be too emotional, then it sort of takes away from other scenes. But
I would think you would probably agree though that the more funny bits happen with like the dialogue or lack of dialogue in scenes between characters, less so the actual slapstick.
yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, it wasn't the worst. I didn't hate it, but I was kind of like, and he's gonna drop the cake. Boom, there's okay.
Let us know. Go to turnsounds.com. There's a contact page or Instagram. Just keep walking podcast.
Gmail.com, turns
Yeah.
out gmail.com.
All of those. Let us know. Did you like the cake drop or not? And if you want to get into why, that's always appreciated as well.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. So Hilltop. I like this. Hey, that there's like Whisperer sort of remnants that they're coming back to it because it's obviously great that they all went over the cliff, but it seems like surely there'd still be a few who didn't go along with that or who were still survived. So did you like notice that at first when they're all mulling around in the background? Something's off here, like that doesn't seem right. Yeah, so nice little setup. You sort of notice it before they do, and then it's, okay, yeah, right. It actually is Whisperers. Yeah, thoughts, Liam? You look like you got something to say.
I think it was great. Like I noticed that they were mulling around, which is now like the quote for it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, like I think I see what's going on here. And then you hear Lydia. Lydia's like, wait a second.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
exactly. Spot on.
Oh, it's them. They're back. But it just makes so much sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't not think that a couple of them would have branched off somewhere. Like, why would they all walk off a cliff? There'd be a few that might be like, I'm being pushed by a horde.
Well, most of them got killed in like the 5 seconds before the fight with Beta.
yeah.
which is just that moment that went a bit too quick. But that was what was supposed to happen to the actual whisperers. At least is like they all just got taken out stealthily. Yeah, so
I do like that it was Lydia that pointed that out. That seemed like a very useful thing to have her along for. To like look at Walker walking patterns and go, "Ooh, yeah,
the way they're moving and stuff." So yeah, it's cool. Alrighty, Commonwealth. Got some ice cream. Got Meghan Markle lookalike being very rude to Eugene.
yeah."
What the heck?
Excuse me, could I have the time of day, please?
Taking ice cream, like shoving it in his face.
He wasn't even asking for the rocky road. He's like, "Is that rocky road?" Maybe she didn't know. Who knows? Yeah.
Weird. So there's something going on with her.
My note for this is like Eugene even eats ice cream like a total weirdo.
What was that?
It's like a half lick up and then chomp on the top. Like, come on, guy.
Bro. Maybe it's like I don't know. Maybe it's not like riding a bike. Do you lose your ice cream eating skills after 10 years in the apocalypse?
I was looking closely at the ice cream, wondering because they were walking and not eating. I was like, surely it's got to be prop, right? Like Play-Doh or some gun or something,
right,
in there. And I was waiting for them to take a bite of it, but then as soon as they did, they cut to a different shot of them.
Right.
So.
Sneaky good spotting. Didn't think about that.
Maybe that's why he gave it to Princess. He's like, it's not actually ice cream. There you go.
Because can you imagine that complication on set? You've got a couple of times, your ice cream's melting down your hand, and
you can see the sun's pretty harsh as well. So no, good spot. Yeah, that would be a pain. So they're gonna. I would like to know a bit more about Stephanie, or have a chance to get to know her a little bit more before this whole like radio thing. Because really, it's like, we're just going along with this. Like, what's her role in the community? Is she a trusted person, or is she just like a citizen among thousands of others? Like, we kind of get an idea of the scale of this place, but still. Not quite.
50,000, they reckon, or something.
Oh, was it said? Maybe I just missed it.
I think they said 50,000.
Oh, I'd believe it. Yeah, I was probably just thinking about something else. All right, well.
Which in itself is still a small town, if you're talking a town of people.
Sure. Big enough to have a cake shop, I guess.
To need one.
Yeah. It's a neat one. They go along with this whole radio tower thing. They're going to hack into it, and Princess gets an ice cream.
Cue the sneakiest music you've ever heard.
Really?
Yeah, the sneak music is real. It doesn't happen until they're actually inside.
Oh, until they're inside. All right, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy, well, like Sam and Bear are really like, how do we make this? It's like what is it, like a harp plucking or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. Classic. I'll listen out for it. But this whole kids thing. Yeah. But it was nice to have the little reminder of Carl and the handprint thing. That was a cool little callback, and hopefully this will go somewhere maybe with the bully kid.
Coco got a line as well.
Wait, really?
I believe he said yeah or something.
I thought Coco's still a baby.
Yes, oh, is he? Then who's that? Not the other kid. The kid with the.
Is it RJ?
Oh, that's probably RJ actually.
Yeah, that's RJ.
Okay, my bad.
Okay.
True.
Good on you, RJ. Rosita's there. She's just a nice little moment. Good to have a few of those throughout. Any thoughts on that whole conversation?
Look, very superficial comment on this one here. I am a married man, but Rosita is getting prettier, I think.
Oh, wow.
As an actress. I thought she was quite plain when I first saw her, but then...
Fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that is something they've done a good job with, like, just in general with, I don't know, makeup department or whatever, but, like, of making people look real. You know, they make the actors look good. They don't make them look ugly and like terrible, but they don't look like they're caked in makeup or anything like that. So yeah, it's a nice little balance.
I do like that she still has the scar from.
Oh yeah,
Was it a
yeah.
rat that cut her face?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I notice whenever she's on screen and I see that, I'm like, that's cool that they've kept that consistency, continuity. Yeah.
Definitely.
Tomato.
Side note though, one thing that's there's just no explanation for, just got to go with it, is that Norman Reedus has his big bald head hand tattoo since like I can't remember what season, but yeah, it's been like a good few seasons now that he's had it, and it's just one of those things that like popped up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, well, fair enough. Don't know how you get a tattoo in the apocalypse, mate. Well,
Just like prison tattoos with it.
yeah,
Single
okay.
needle and ink.
Oh, maybe that.
Yeah. Definitely
Doable
doable.
then. Fair enough. There you go. Whisperer interrogation.
He looks rough.
Poor fella. Go back down into the basement here, and he's got a bunch of friends hanging out there. So really, yeah, we're just seeing Aaron get a bit cranky here, and
Not slashed, to be fair.
Yeah.
oh yeah, well actually that's fair. Yeah.
He's been lied to as well. I mean, imagine living
Lied to
under constant
slash.
threat of like people not being who they say they are, and you gotta wonder if they're gonna steal from you and kill you, and
Yeah.
it can't be easy.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fair. Yeah, so I guess the main thing for me is like, especially after the episode with Father Gabriel, it seems like more of a Gabriel thing to do in this situation, but maybe they're just rubbing off on each other a bit. Yeah.
Actually, just because the very last part of his dream at the beginning of the episode was your boy.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
Maze.
He
from the one more episode,
he got
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
killed with the mace.
Yeah.
He yells like no or something like that.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
what was I linking that up to? Him and the Father Gabriel thing, like just what they're going through as far as that. So I reckon starting to snap a little bit and just had enough of all this.
Oh, interesting. But I guess it does provide in a minute a good opportunity for sort of to see where Carol's at now, and at least a reminder that our group's they've still got some decency intact, even though not everyone's in the same boat. At least they're kind of trying, but it definitely makes you think like at a few points here. Well, yeah, the Whisperer's got a point. Like these guys are kind of acting like the bad guys here. They're not doing what we'd expect of them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I guess a lot of it's just out of the desperation of how bad things are at Alexandria, and so really need for that change. Sneaky music moment. Let's turn this up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, sneaky music. There you go.
One quick note about all the stormtroopers walking around. Yes, for security, and yes, the helmets are great for when you're outside of the walls. But when you're just walking around, why can't they all be like, cheery orange armor dude?
Yeah.
Like bring back the humanity. Look, I'm not wearing a helmet. I look way more approachable. But it just looks like a, controlling military force otherwise.
But I guess that might be part of it, especially just seeing how they operate, like with being so strict on all the different rules and processes and things like that. They're not exactly treating people like humans. It's all just this big system, and it definitely seems like Pamela Milton, who's at the top, who they're talking about, is very, authoritative or wants to intimidate people and have that sort of, I don't know, power trip or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I'd say that's definitely more of a intimidation or just how the system works rather than an actual practical thing.
You can sort of see that filtering down when they're all getting their job assignments too. Like that dude who was sort of watching over them in that room wanted nothing to do with them. It was like, you have to take it up with your boss, right, until he read that note. Oh, ma'am, I'd be happy to help you.
Very cold.
Yeah. So you can sort of see that. Yeah, maybe this Pamela Milton has a bit of a, bit of her own little inner circle, and
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Is she not the lady from World Beyond?
I hope not.
If I say that, I thought her name was Pamela.
It's not the same, but yeah, now I feel like she was Pamela. Maybe
Big
you're
boss
right.
lady who's like wants the
I'm gonna
girl
look
for
this
some
up. I
project.
know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name. If it's not Pamela.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing while we're on music. Nice to have. Oh, now I'm searching Pamela and IMDb. What am I looking for? World Beyond. I can't talk and type at the same time. But yeah, with music, just in the scene before there are a few little moments of this with Judith's storyline, but bringing back the family theme, but with sort of it's slightly different the way they're playing it, which was sort of a big thing between her and Michonne in season 10 and got handed over to Judith. And so anytime they're talking about her missing Michonne or stuff like that comes in a little bit there. So nice to. It's just always nice when those little themes come in and are consistent. But there's one other which I'm quickly looking up here through my database of themes in the show. Okay, yes, I thought that was so. This is a completely different side tangent, but I'm just going to talk from it. There's because they Sam Ewing when I chat to him, he talks about how they use not stock music. What am I talking about?
Themes.
Like what do they use in the edit? Temp music. That's what I'm talking about. So they'll either use like music from previously in the show or from other stuff just in the edit, just to sort of set the tone that they want before the composers come in. And so it could be because of that, or it could be just that they have a bunch of themes that aren't really specific themes. They're just random bits of music that they can kind of reuse throughout the show just as part of the atmosphere. And so there's a whole bunch of those that are used throughout the series that are really in just random scenes. They're not anything significant, but they kind of set the same sort of tone. But it's definitely a recognizable melody if you know what you're looking for. And it faded into this at the end of the conversation with Judith and Rosita. Is this little bit of music that was at the very end of the Pikes episode when Daryl and Lydia sort of put the H down next to the Pikes. And it popped up again very briefly when Jerry and Ezekiel said goodbye to each other last season. And here it was played with a completely different instrument and stuff. But it makes you think there could be like a theme there thematically, but I don't think so. I think it's just like a random, bit of music it's part of the universe, but they can reuse it. So
just bonding music, really, isn't it? Or
I
like
wouldn't say
closure.
bonding, because this kind of resembles what Lydia was going through originally in terms of like, my family's gone, but it's all right because I'm moving into this new situation, and that was kind of what they were talking about. But and kind of similar, saying goodbye to Jerry and all that. But give me some time. I'll think about that a bit more. But that was just an observation. And this is so you can see my database. I write down anytime I recognize a theme and what episode it's in and stuff. So
Jeez,
there's a bit.
You need to be locked up, Ben.
Yeah, that's way longer than I thought it was. All right. Just back to the Commonwealth real quick. There's he's saying don't ruin this for me when she says too loud, oh, you're a surgeon. So yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing where people don't have too much free choice by the looks of it. Because if they find out that he has this set of skills, then he's going to be put into that. Which, well, if you're a doctor, it's kind of understandable.
On.
That's understandable.
Yeah. I thought as soon as we found out that, my brother's a surgeon, I was like, bingo, Ezekiel's going to live.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like, it's exactly what we needed. So
hopefully.
But we know how this show treats doctors, so.
Yeah. It's true.
Days are numbered.
Yeah. Oh, Whisper thing. Anything to add? Otherwise, I'll just skip through it. We've mostly covered this.
Clever torture. While he was when he was letting the walker get close, I'm like, just let it bite him. And then he's got like literally minutes or seconds to like divulge his information, or we'll let you turn, buddy. And then he did that. I'm like, very dark, but effective. Kudos, mate.
Well, also you're elevating the thing which is being bitten, so it will go faster into his bloodstream. It's like the worst thing to do.
Oh dear. Yeah. But did you see he had like a antler that was sticking through the zombie? That's how he was holding onto it. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Negan and Maggie, they're, Negan's been saying, all right, we got to head back and let's wait till sundown, then head back. And now he's just, I'm going, see you later. But as soon as he's about to leave, Gabriel and, what's the guy's name? Masked guy. I've forgotten his name. This guy who he had the mask and now he doesn't have it anymore.
I forget.
We'll come back to it. So, we'll remember as soon as we finish recording. But it's, I don't know, because it's sort of it played as an uplifting scene of like, we'll always wait for each other and look out. But then you can really see where Negan's coming from as well. Let's be realistic about this.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that whole situation?
Tough. I think that's tough because, like you say, you can see both sides of the coin. Like, well, on the one hand, you got to get back what you can. Yeah, that's a really tough one.
Because Negan's heart, in a way, was in the right place. Like he was saying, I'm taking this back to Alexandria. Like it's going to, not just hightailing it out. But even that, I think maybe because Maggie just needs to be in control, she's just not going to listen to anything that he says.
Yeah, sure. But then I also see like, well, if you go back, you're not really doing them any favors either because you're just going to bring like a backpack worth of food that'll last 5 seconds and then you're 2 more mouths to feed anyway. So you may as well keep going with what you set out to do and see if there's a possibility of getting something out of it.
Good point.
Yeah, tricky one. But now you kind of wonder, like, because these guys are limping in, like, what are you going to do? That's, if you include Alden as well, that's like 3 seriously injured people. Or actually, maybe just Father Gabriel's injured out of those 2. I'm not sure.
True, yeah.
But like, that's a whole nother problem now, medical help for them, and it's not looking too good. But Lance comes in and saves the day as these guys are about to go off to trial. Cheesy video guy.
Maybe it's just the lighting, but are his teeth the worst?
I
thought that he was like in the VCR thing. I thought he was missing his front teeth because of how dark they are. And then he comes in here talking, and again, I'm like I'm staring at his mouth as he's talking, and I'm like, I think he's just got like very yellow teeth.
I'm trying to see.
When I waited for him to talk, it's like he didn't move his lips much.
He really does look like the governor, though. I can't see his teeth here. I'll have another look.
Yeah, especially in the VCR when he grinned at one point. I was like, oh, yuck.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's something to look out for. Bad teeth guy. Maybe they need a dentist. That's the one thing they haven't found yet. They've got all these cakes and ice cream and horrible food, but no dentists. So, oh dear. Commonwealth problems. Packing up, leaving Hilltop, and the Whisperer spills the beans that he saw Connie. So it's definitely exciting to be coming back to that storyline and seeing her again. Have you got any theories? Any thoughts?
I got 2 notes, but I'm happy to wait.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Go on.
First of all, if we hadn't seen the coming up next on, I thought, wouldn't it be like the funniest thing in the whole world? It was like, oh yeah, I saw someone stumbling near to the thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like Keith. Like after all this time,
Yeah.
you jerks, you never came looking.
And because you could kind of do like, because he's got the hair,
Yeah.
like you could kind of make it so he looks like Connie for a second and then turns around and it's Heath. Yeah.
Is it Heath? Is it
Heath, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Close.
Keith. You see,
I think the Whisperer's name was Keith, wasn't it? In this episode.
maybe.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
I thought it was Peter.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I was way off if it was.
we'll settle this next week. We'll go back and have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go. And
There you go.
well, so Carol is like, yes, finally, like, you know, we no time to lose. And Aaron says, look, we'll leave First Light because of all of that. I will bet you, gee, not my firstborn. I love him too much, but I will donate $50 to Turn Sounds
Wow.
if Carol waits for the group. She is
Okay,
100% going to leave before First Light because
Right.
she just has to do things her own way and she's going to act on impulse and emotion.
Right. Okay. I was going to bring that up actually because that was an interesting response from Carol. That she just goes along with it. Yeah. And we had this sort of in episode 3 when they were looking for the horses. That everyone else was like, all right, yeah, it's time to go home. We should leave it. And she really wanted to keep looking. And sort of by the end of the episode, then her and Magna have that conversation that, to me at least, that kind of communicated that really the reason Carol wanted to keep looking for the horses is because she doesn't like the idea of just giving up on looking for something because they kind of represent Connie almost. And so, yeah, she's just desperate to try and make right of what she's done wrong. So, yeah.
I don't think
could see
so.
it.
I think
Huh?
the way that she nodded when he's like, we'll leave First Light, and she just kind of like, she doesn't fight at all, doesn't argue, just, okay, nod. And to me, I call it the Dishwasher Paradox only because when I would pack the dishwasher as a kid, I actually do. Like, and I mean, it works, all right? As a kid, I'd pack the dishwasher and like one of my sisters or something would come along and say, no, you can't put that in the dishwasher, like a chopping board or something. And I was like, you can't put that in the dishwasher, you have to hand wash it. And I realized over the time, you know, as time would pass, that if I argued, it would just take longer and longer. Or I could just agree straight away and she would walk away and then I'd just put it straight back in the dishwasher. Like,
Yeah, all right, I could see that.
so I'm
Did it
saying,
work?
Carol, yes, a lot of the time. Carol has just gone, yep, okay, sure, we'll wait till daylight.
Yeah,
and then
no,
she's
that-
not going to.
That seems like something Carol would do. All right.
As a fellow dishwasher packer,
We'll see. Well, yeah, there you go. Isaac's pledged to donate $50 to himself.
no to the cause.
Yeah.
I don't see a cent of this money, I'll have you know. Yeah. Not yet, anyway. Very delayed. Yep.
If anyone wants to take him up on that and bet another $50 towards Turn Sounds against Isaac, then you're more than welcome to do that. Or you could head to turnsounds.com and plug in, which is a way to support the show. It not only shows your support and that you enjoy what we're doing, which we really appreciate, but also it just helps to cover the costs because there's subscriptions for publishing and microphones and sound equipment because we like to try and do it as best quality as we can to make it nice to listen to. So, all those things. There's also, well, I would pay for this anyway, but now I'm paying for a VPN for Amazon US and AMC Plus so we can get it early in Australia.
On that, when the time comes and we'll have that conversation, that's
Yeah.
when you dip into the Turn Sounds fund to be able to pay for these.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the money's for.
Okay, let's talk about
We
this
will
off,
talk about it,
off
yeah.
screen. Yeah,
Please plug in, ladies and gentlemen.
definitely
Get a
appreciate
kiss
it.
from Liam.
Yes.
And we'll make sure that we give you some bonus content and you'll just have a chance to be a bit more of a part of the show and have a say in what the sort of content we cover. So yeah, definitely be appreciated. How are we going for time? Do you guys want to do like a previously on Walking Dead, or are you keen to hit the hay?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I got one
Alright.
final note on the show,
Yeah.
if you like.
Yeah.
Just that for the sign that got broke, the handprint wooden thing that they're going to fix, they brought out I don't know if you've ever used wood glue before, like craft wood glue.
No.
It's like the white stuff and it turns translucent as it dries. It's the worst, and it will never ever fix something of that size. You use it to like
Really?
glue popsicle sticks together or something at the most.
Okay.
So yeah, liquid nails is what you want for that, but not craft glue. Sorry, Rosita, no.
All right. Fair enough. That's good to know. I'm seeing if I can pull this up on Binge real quick. But I was, excuse me. I've been watching watching a few of the audio commentaries, particularly from season 10, because the Blu-ray just came out recently.
Can't help himself, can he?
What?
Oh, so these aren't the Angela Kang ones.
No, this is like just the actual episode playing out, and it'll be either be like a few of the actors or the director or whatever, sort of talking along as it's playing out. But there's this one bit in the cave episode where you can see them crawling through the tunnel, and right behind Connie, there's they've all got their torches on and stuff, but there's this light that sort of is flashing for a second, and you just kind of the shot goes pretty quickly, and so you assume it's just people like crawling in front of each other, and the torch is kind of going off and on. But Norman Reedus sort of spotted it as they were doing the commentary, and said that it was, on the torch, how you can accidentally flick it into strobe mode if you press. And so for like one shot, he accidentally did that, and they went and did another take apparently, but the one with the strobing stayed in. So I'll pull up that shot and show you afterwards. But it's pretty funny because it's so obvious, like when you know what to look for. I was like, oh yeah, that was just like dance party behind Connie there. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. And
That's the claustrophobia one, isn't it?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, but Liam, do you want to do your best Aaron impression?
Oh, how did I get stuck with this? I'm trying to remember how he sounded like when he said it.
He sounded really, really grumpy.
Yeah, he's been grumpy this whole episode, hasn't
Just,
All right, so I just have to sound really annoyed. Previously on AMC's The Walking Dead. Yep, not my greatest work.
Oh, that's all right.
as long as you
Better
commit,
than
we're
nothing.
happy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. All right. Who would like to go first here?
What is this? What are we doing?
Previously on Walking Dead.
For people listening.
Oh, right. Like, when you're just listening. Okay, so if you haven't tuned into the show before when we've done one of these, this is just a chance to talk about anything from the show that we haven't covered here, basically, because we started podcasting halfway through season 10, so there's 9.5 seasons that we haven't talked about too much, and plenty of good moments just to dive into, whether it's something we liked or just something worth talking about. So yeah, anything goes really. But yeah, definitely feel free to suggest or like write us in with your own suggestions of something you liked or something you'd like us to talk about. Who'd like to go first here?
I can do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
mine's a downer, so if you like...
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if that means you should go first. Or
Let's do Liam, Isaac, and then me.
Okay,
okay,
alright.
cool. Positive sandwich, right? Mine is Morgan's staff sticky thing. I don't know why I like it so much, but the sort of grooves in it
Yeah.
seem completely pointless, but it just looks cool. Yeah.
Would it help you grip it better, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe?
Potentially.
Yeah. You are our weapons.
And
expert.
he's sharpened one end of it, hasn't
He
he,
did.
as well?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah.
Cool as stick. Nice.
Cool stick.
Awesome. Isaac, what have you got?
Okay. So this is to do with
Some are
Carl.
longer, some are shorter,
Yeah.
if you haven't picked this up already.
Look, the stick of Morgan. Yeah, it's good stuff. Mine is to do with Carl's passing.
Oh.
Yeah. I was having to think about the way that when Rick first finds out that he's been bitten, and his first response is like, how did this happen? Like, how do we revenge this? Who made this happen? Whose fault is all of this? And Carl just says, like, it just happened. Like, saving someone, and it is what it is. Like, you don't need to go looking for whose fault is it? Well, you know, at this point, Carl is pretty chilled out. He's writing his letters, and
Yeah.
I think there's something nice about that. Like you don't. It just life happens, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. And yeah, you're just so caught up at this point in the middle of the Saviors War of us versus them, and it's just well, hey, you know, not everything revolves around that. But sometimes random stuff just happens. That's cool. Nice. And yeah, that really with just Carl's death overall, that's a nice thing. Is that not that he went out on sort of on his own terms. Obviously, he didn't mean to get bit, but he was doing it, helping someone, and it was like, well, this happened. It sucks, but let's make the best of it, and he did. So it's cool.
Just as a thought experiment after that, for these surface level bites where they're not tearing off skin, you can just see the teeth marks in the skin and that's it. I wonder whether they should start doing an experiment. It would suck for the person involved. But like, so it's now in the universe where you get bit on the hand, you can cut off your hand or your arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you like quickly chuck a stick or a knife in someone's mouth and they bite down on it and you quickly just like cut that top bit of skin off where the teeth sunk into?
Yeah.
I'd like to see someone like it'd be again terrible,
But yeah, someone who knows a bit more about human anatomy, let us know if you are that person listening. Because it'd be how does an infection spread through the blood? Like how fast is it in?
For like Carl's bite, it just looks like teeth marks. It doesn't even look like they've really punctured too terribly.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
In a way, they could test that. They could get like terminally ill people who volunteer. Like Commonwealth, where they've got a massive community, like look, we've done everything we can. We don't have the resources, or there is actually no cure of, say, incurable disease or something. Like, cool. Like, do you want to donate to? Donate yourself to experiments.
There is a bit of that not so voluntary in season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. Have you seen that?
I don't remember.
Do you remember Troy?
Troy?
Vaguely. Is he the one that Madison killed?
What does Troy mean to you, Isaac?
The guy from Hilltop. Could it be
What?
that Troy? That got burnt up?
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, at the start of that, he was sort of, doing, well, more so experiments of like how long does it take someone to turn depending on age and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely the sort of thing where you'd have to have a lot of references, which isn't very good for a lot of people. Yeah. Well, hey, if it happens to someone, you may as well just give it a go.
That's what I'd
See if
say.
it saves their life. Yeah.
So, and then the point of that is, don't be like Carl, where it's like, someone says, "Hey, you're right. Yeah, fine, I'm fine." Don't hide your bite mark. Like, go, yo, he bit me. Quick, let's try something.
Cut my belly.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
I'm not saying like a big wedge, just like, maybe like 2 layers of skin down or something like that.
Good point.
Go the full wedge. I want the best chance of survival.
But yeah, people have I'm thinking of when he's flipping through the picture book in Jaws, doing the research. Like people have survived big shark bites out of the side of their belly and stuff, and they got off all right. So yeah.
All right, go the wedge.
Yeah. I do remember so many theories around that point as well, because that was like halfway through the season you revealed that Carl had been bit, and then you had like 3 months wait before the next episode. So there are all these theories. Like I remember people saying, "Oh, maybe the zombie that bit him had like dentures," or so there are all these things.
That'd be funny.
And it was just before they got into the saviors dipping their weapons into guts and using that to infect people. So it's like that could have been the point in the story where they started exploring it a bit more. How does this infection work? And maybe there was a way Carl could have got out of it or have it not infect him. And then they could learn a bit more about how the walkers actually, how it all works. But yeah, didn't happen. It's just an interesting time.
Can I offer just a final thought?
Yeah.
I would really have liked, not Carl, of course, but maybe Judith, anybody born into the apocalypse. You remember when we found out that everyone always has it, and that's why they turn after. I would like the idea of people born into the apocalypse are actually in some way immune.
Yeah.
Like they have it just as a dormant gene.
Yeah, true.
And so, being bitten doesn't turn them. I think that'd be a very fun...
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that's not the case. Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. Very cool. We'll see. That'd be a good, potentially interesting ending for the show.
Yeah, I reckon
that's
that's how they wrapped it up. I figured it out.
Okay.
I don't need to watch the show anymore.
Okay. All right, we'll
Nice.
see. And then this, tell me if I've talked about this already, but in season 1, this is going way back when T-Dog drops the key for
talked
Mel's
about it.
handcuff hammer. Just Daryl's reaction, and T-Dog's makes this big deal of, look, I'm sorry, I dropped the key. It's just, you can pick it up. So, it's just funny. Little quips.
good.
But if I've talked about it already, I feel like a bunch of these I've already talked about.
Do you delete them off your list afterwards?
I do now.
Okay.
I've talked about this one already, I'm sure. Daryl when he licks his fingers before he gives Wes Walder the handshake.
Yeah.
Awesome one. But, okay, this one I haven't talked about. There's a moment where it's sort of after Sophia's been lost initially, and Carol's all freaking out, and I think she's got blood on her or something. It was after Sophia came out of the barn, maybe. That's why she would have blood on her. There was something like that. But there's just a nice moment where Shane comes up to her and sort of, brings a cold cloth and washes her or at least dabs her face and cleans her up a little bit. And it was just this nice moment because Shane's, obviously a pretty sort of rough guy and he caused a lot of this stuff. But it was just this nice little moment where Carol back then was just this frail old, lady scared of everything. And so it was just a nice moment where he comes and takes care of her, shows that he's got a bit of a softer side. So, I can't actually remember exactly where that happened. So, yeah, there you go. But
Sure, you
something.
can't.
I can't. Yeah. But there we go. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's, always a pleasure to do this. Thanks, Isaac, for having us at your house.
This may well be the last time. Who knows?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I don't know if we've talked about it on here at all. Do you want to share the news?
Briefly. Yeah, sure. I have what I would refer to in our Astromech podcast as a youngling on the way. I suppose in this one it's just a
kid.
A kid, yeah. A child.
What's Judith's nickname?
Little ass kicker.
Yes. You got little ass kicker on the way.
I do indeed. Yes, I hope so. And look, with my Shelby, my wife, very heavily pregnant at the moment. It's very much an any day is the day.
Yeah.
And so, recording will become, I reckon it might just be the two of you,
Yeah, it might be for a little bit. So, hopefully we'll get in one or two more before then. But obviously we'll just see how things go. And, regardless,
because thank you. But we're episode 5 today.
Yes.
6, 5?
Yeah, 5.
Of how many?
8 in this block.
Okay. So this block maybe, but then I'd say at least for when it resumes and then right to the end, it should be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll have a few months before then it comes back, so that'll be a good bit of time. But exciting. So thanks so much for listening, guys. I've been Ben.
Still Liam.
Always Isaac.
And we'll catch you next week.
Do you just... You've not been doing the just keep walking bit lately, and I like that.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's good.
You can say it then.
No, I couldn't say it.
Oh, yes.
How does Rick say it?
He kind of mumbles it because I was thinking of getting that as a soundbite for the opening of this, but he doesn't say it clearly enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep walking.
What does he say
like
to what's that dude's name? Wife beater guy. He's like,
Ed?
keep walking.
Oh yeah, Jesse.
Yeah,
Jesse's husband. Yeah.
So,
Pete,
hey Rick, Pete, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey Rick. Keep walking.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta find that one.
Just keep walking.
That's good.